Treat me like a fool, treat me mean and cruel, but love me. Break my faithful heart, tear it all apart, but love me, won't you love me? If you ever go, darling, I'll be oh so lonely. I'll be sad and blue, crying over you, dear only. Now wait a minute. Some people can sing. Some people can do karate. Could Elvis do both? Watch the video, man. Let me know. Like all of us, Elvis Presley's life was marked by different stages. Unlike the rest of us, his stages are crisply defined like action figure special editions. There's Rockabilly Elvis, Army Elvis, Cowboy Elvis, Hawaiian Elvis, and of course Karate Elvis. Where some of these identities were contrived or merely parts he played, Elvis had a legitimate love of and passion for karate. But was he any good at it? Elvis's decades-long karate biography goes like this. He first started training while stationed in Germany with a man named Jürgen Seidel in 1958 to 1960. That was Shotokan karate. Upon returning to America, he met Ed Parker, a Kempo master, at a karate demonstration at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel. The two became friends, and Parker taught Elvis on and off until Presley's death in 1977. In Memphis, Presley earned his first degree black belt in 1960 under Cheetah Roost stylist Hank Slamansky. Later, Elvis trained in a Memphis dojo under Master Kang Ree, who bestowed upon him a 7th degree black belt before Elvis opened his own center, the Tennessee Karate Institute. So there's a little bit of debate within the karate community over the King's skills and the veracity of his 7th degree black belt. Whenever doubt is raised, people who knew or trained with Elvis always defend him. It is also worth noting, however, that Elvis tended to surround himself with pro-Elvis people, and disparaging Elvis just don't fly, man. Al Tracy, one of Ed Parker's pupils, writes that Hank Slamansky really forced Elvis to earn his black belt because of a rash of phony celebrity black belts during the 1950s. This apparently culminated when Ricky Nelson, who was, by all accounts, terrible at karate, was given one by instructor Bruce Tegner. Because of this, Slamansky put Elvis through a rigorous 6-week training program to justify his belt. After Presley passed, Slamansky told Parker, "The kid ain't pretty, but he's tough, and he's a black belt," which was an odd thing to say because Elvis was in fact very pretty. Wayne Carman trained with Elvis under Master Kang Ree in Memphis and wrote an entire book about the experience, Elvis's Karate Legacy. In it, he documents how he met Elvis and brought him to the dojo. Elvis wanted some of his security people to learn the nunchakus, he said. Elvis's quirks. He was the only person I ever saw wore boots in a dojo. And his peculiar training methods. Whenever Elvis practiced self-defense demonstrations, he insisted on using real firearms. Most everyone used wooden guns, but not Elvis. Most of all, he remembers Elvis as a passionate martial artist. In martial arts, he wasn't Elvis the entertainer. He was Elvis the black belt with 15 years experience. Carmen writes, "That was impressive to all of us since there weren't many karate practitioners in the country with as many years in the arts." Despite this, the book casts some doubts on Elvis' 7th degree honors. Naturally, a Cadillac is involved. Elvis, who believed 7 was his perfect number, there are numerous instances in the Bible to this being God's number, really wanted his 7th degree black belt. Trouble was, Kang Ree couldn't promote him higher than he was himself. One day, Kang Ree called a meeting of the black belts and brought up this dilemma. He said, "Elvis wants a 7th degree black belt. What can we do?" You see, in order for this to take place, we would have to vote Kang Rhee as 8th degree black belt. In the days that followed, however, the promotion took place. Heck, Elvis was so persuasive and you wanted to help him so much, I would have probably done the same thing. Elvis was promoted to 7th degree. Elvis's gratitude upon his promotion is obvious. After class, Elvis gave Kang Rhee a Cadillac. Still, Carmen maintains that Elvis was a talented martial artist right up until the end of his life. Elvis really looked sharp the last time I saw him, he says. His technique was crisp and powerful and his movements were graceful. Still, Carmen maintains that Elvis was a talented martial artist right up until the end of his life. Elvis really sure looked sharp the last time I saw him. He says his technique was crisp and powerful and his movements was graceful. Carmen also reports a time when the singer had to use his skills while performing at the Las Vegas Hilton. During the show, 3 men jumped on stage and rushed the entertainer. Elvis's security team, thinking fast, jumped into action. The Hilton stage soon took on the appearance of a Hollywood film set brawl. People were flying everywhere. Elvis was still punching and kicking even after the dust settled. Efforts to find news clippings about this onstage melee in a packed Las Vegas amphitheater were unsuccessful. In 1974, Kang Rhee and Carmen helped Elvis shoot footage for The New Gladiator, a karate documentary that was never released. You can see the footage right here. Presley wanted to use the film to propel karate into the mainstream's consciousness. Elvis had sketched out a handwritten script of how he wanted the documentary to go, Carmen says. Elvis estimated the film would gross $9 million within the first month after its release. Of course, those were astronomical figures back then, but the star's drawing power might have pulled it off. Elvis didn't follow through on his plan, but the initial footage, narrated by Wayne Carmen, survives on YouTube. It acts as the only real empirical evidence of Elvis's karate skills, so you can watch and determine whether or not he was any good for yourself. Was Elvis any good at karate? Well, I hope y'all liked that video better than a fried banana peanut butter sandwich. If you did, smash that like button. While you're at it, why don't you go ahead and subscribe. And if you think that Elvis was a good karate man, or you think he was a bad karate man, leave a comment in the section below. Thank you. Thank you very much.